Your first question comes from the line of Ron Newberry.
Hi, Coach. I wanted to ask what you learned from watching Stanford's dominating performance over Washington Saturday. And are you worried about your team in terms of motivation after seeing being beaten so handily?
No, I'm not worried about our motivation, number one. But number two, we watched the game and we broke it down. But Stanford runs such a different offense than we run. We don't put a lot of stock in that. You know, we look at more teams that are similar to us in terms of breaking opponents down. And then there's a little bit of difference in what goes on with our defense and Stanford's defense, with them being a 3-4 team. So we break them down, we look at them, and then we try to figure out, you know, what the game plan will be in our game. So the answer is probably no.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Bob Kandata.
Yeah, Chip, I was just curious, do you have like a stated goal for how quickly you want to get your plays off during a game, like every 15 seconds or something like that, or does the pace of the game itself dictate that, or what?
We don't have a stated goal on time or anything like that. It's really what the situation dictates. And, you know, do we want to speed it up? Do we want to slow it down? You know, we did it both in the USC game. We played fast at times. We played slow at times. It just really depends on the situation within the game, Bob.
All right, great, thank you.
Welcome.
Again, any questions, please press star 1.
Okay, Debbie.
At this time, there are no further questions.
Thank you, Debbie. Any final questions here?
Chip, do you think that defenses might catch up to your tempo and your conditioning eventually?
Maybe, probably. I think everybody catches everybody in this game. You know, there's a lot of people start doing one thing and then everybody adjusts and then it goes back the other way. And, you know, defenses went from being 4-3 was a rage and then everybody's going back to the 3-4. And, you know, this offense was a rage and then all of a sudden they go the other way. So, you know, there's a lot of smart coaches out there and a lot of people will figure out ways to defend it, ways to go with it. But it really isn't the system. It's you have to have players. You know, so someone can say, hey, we're going to do what Oregon does, but you better have Darren Thomas, you better have the Michael James, you better have a veteran offensive line, you better have a clutch tight end, you better have a group of receivers that we have. I mean, that's what this whole thing is all about, is that we have really, really good players that are playing at a high level, and that's why we're putting up points like we're putting up. But it's, you know, I think if someone can just paint it with a brush and say, well, it's this. If it was that, then everybody would do it, and that's not the case. We've got a unique group that I think fits for what we're doing right now. And then we get out of the way and let them go play. So,
Sam?
Yes, some of the guys were saying that as fast as you guys have played this year, that they can play even faster. Just how much faster can you guys play?
you know, I don't know the exact answer, but they're right. We can play faster. You know, and that's about trying to get better every day. You know, there's certain times where you're like, hey, you know, what's your effort here? Is it maximum effort, and can you push yourself even farther? But the fact that our players realize that, you know, kind of tells you about the type of players that we have.
Jason?
Chip, I asked you about James's 42-yard run the first half against USC. Now, that just struck me as possibly the fastest snap you guys have had. Have you had a chance to look at that? And can you?
Yeah, we've snapped it faster than that.
Was that like instantaneous right after that?
Well, it couldn't have been faster than instantaneous, right?
How many of those do you have a game? Like, for instance?
A game, a few. You know, it just depends on what we call the one thing about that. Going back to it was blocked up perfect. You know, there was a person on everybody, whether it was what Jordan Holmes and Kaiser did at the point of attack to Jeff Mills blocked downfield on the corner, is that everybody was blocked. You know, and that's where that play happened. It wasn't because we caught them off balance. It's actually USC was set, but our players did a good job of executing their assignments on that play. So.
All right. Despite you guys obviously played a really good game. I mean, you put up over 50 points on USC. There were still quite a few mental mistakes, like Javis Lewis's penalty and the roughing the punter call. What do you guys think you can do to kind of fix that up?
I'm not allowed to comment on official play.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
If you don't like it, you can ask Larry Scott.
Any final questions? Oh, back.
Coach, you talk a lot about this team and attribute a lot of your success to this team. So what exactly makes them unique, and how much of this attitude you guys all share came from your coaching, and how much of it did they possess already?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of where it came from, but I think what makes this team unique is that everybody's on the same page. There's not a lot of people going in different directions, and to get 105, well, actually get more than that, probably 115 players, and 9 coaches in strength and conditioning, and nutrition and trainers, and everybody on the same page going for the same goal is what makes this group special. And they understand that it's about the final end product of what we do and how do we get there, and they all understand that it's the process, and that's what makes this group unique, is that there's not a lot of egos on this team. And people, you listen to our players talk, they don't really care who gets the credit. They're more excited about when someone else makes a good play, and that's what makes this team, I think, kind of unique, is that they truly understand that the team comes first, and that's the way they practice, that's the way they play.
Thank you.